Whether you choose to play as the Alliance, the Horde, or as a neutral faction, one thing is for sure, you are going to have to fight for your spot in small World of Warcraft. Hello and welcome to Studio Awesome. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Katie, and today we'll be reviewing Small World of Warcraft by Days of Wonder and Blizzard Entertainment.
This is a 2 to 5 player area control game that is the standalone IP version of the original Small World game.
Here is a brief overview of the original game and how it works. Each player will choose a single race that has an accompanying power to try to overtake places on the board to earn points.
Points are mostly earned by occupying land spaces. However, some race abilities and certain powers might give players extra points in specific cases.
As your race is spread thin and starts to lose ground in the battle, you can put a race into decline. Now, you no longer can choose to move and conquer with this race, but you will still get a coin for each space that it owns. The next round, the player can then buy a new race and jump back into the battle.
If you want a better idea of how the original Small World game works, please watch our review. What Small World of Warcraft adds in are 6 different boards that are used in different combinations depending on the amount of players. In this 5-player game, there will be 5 boards, which are pretty much just islands.
Now, each island has multiple ports through which they can be invaded. Ports can take additional race tokens to conquer, making them ideal spots to build up some defenses.
Artifacts and legendary locations are also new. These are randomly selected and laid face down at the beginning of the game. These give the player who controls them an advantage. Artifacts can be moved to more strategic locations, while legendary locations have to stay on a single space.
The biggest and possibly the best addition is the team play mode. This variation works best with 4 to 5 players, although it can work with any player count.
With the team mode, players will play as the Alliance or the Horde. With an odd number of players, you will also add a neutral race in.
Each team can only choose the races that belong to that team specifically, and they'll be separated out into different stacks.
The Alliance and Horde players will get an extra coin for each race they defeat from the opposite faction. Neutral races are left out of this coin bloodbath because they don't get extra coins when conquering or award coins when they're defeated.
At the end of the game, teammates will share the lower of the 2 coin counts, and the neutral player will just keep the total points that they earned during the game.
I did like the inclusion of the team variant for the game. Without the team variant, it plays very much like the original Small World, just reskinned with the world of Azeroth from World of Warcraft. And some of the powers you will find are very similar to the original game's powers, but maybe they're assigned to a different race or they have a different title to the power that they have. But it is, if you've played the original Small World, you can definitely pick up and play Small World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah, it is very easy to pick up. It had been a while since we played Small World when we jumped into this one, but it really was just very quick review of the rules and we were ready to go. I do think that the multiplayer, the team mode, and the neutral player part of it, I thought was just a really neat addition. I loved that. Well, I always like co-op games. So I like the idea of working as a team. It adds an extra dimension for me trying to do it because Ryan and I played on the same team. So I wasn't just worried about where I'd put my race tokens. Now I had to also be worried about where he had placed his. And sometimes where it would be best for me to conquer with my new race, he already had his race there, or he had one still in decline in that area. And so I had to work around that a little bit more, which was, I thought an interesting new twist on the way you're having to think about the game. Another thing, like with the neutral player, was interesting because although they don't get as many coins for like attacking the opposite faction, they are sort of left to their own devices sometimes, which can give them a real advantage in the game. So you have to watch out. You can't just leave them to do what they want and try to, get the most coins by attacking these other people. We let intern apprentice Dan kind of get away with the game because he was playing the neutral player, and we were too busy fighting. We played the Horde, so we were too busy fighting the Alliance to really take note of what his pacifists were doing over there.
Now, I haven't played all of the original Small Worlds expansions, so I may be wrong about this, but I think all of Small World is played with different sized maps depending on the number of players. And having the islands and the ability to reconfigure how many islands and which type, because there's 2 of each, small, medium, and large, and they're both double-sided. So you have 4 options for small, medium, and large. And then, depending on the number of players, you either play, like with 3, you have a small, medium, and large. And then with 5, I believe it's 2 small and 2 large, or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, just the fact that you can reconfigure these boards and not just always have the same few options for the player count you're at, I really liked that as an aspect of the game. I think that's an improvement on the original.
Yeah, I liked that with the port locations where you can infiltrate the island. You could really build up some strong defenses there and try to keep people from running in and conquering your areas. Although there are some races that have abilities that really play well off of that. So there's some interesting races that I played with the Forsaken in one of the games that we played, and I really liked that I could pay coins at the end of my turn to try to get more recruits based on how many people I defeated. I thought that was really cool. I had a hard time putting them in decline, though, because I felt like, well, I could just get more people if I wanted. But Ryan, as my teammate's going like, how many points are you spending trying to keep this race going?
Yeah.
So.
I thought they did a really good job of balancing the artifacts and legendary places.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're just powerful enough that they may distract you away from other things, and you might desire to go after them. Because they do affect the gameplay. They do give you a little bit of an edge sometimes, but they're not so powerful that the end-all be-all of the game is going after these special tokens. So
yeah,
I like the balance there.
That was well balanced. I agree with that, because I think you could win the game without having any of those things. But he's right. It definitely gives you an edge either in battle or coins or, being able to move around. It was nice being able to use those. Of course, the art on them are nice, and they look really good. When we were setting up for the team modes, I was concerned about how drafting new races was going to work. Something that I don't think we mentioned was that instead of paying coins and leaving them on each race you don't choose, you pay those to the bank. So it's not like your teammate's just going to pick those coins up later. But it was nice also that you didn't have to worry with one stack. You had the 3 stacks available to you. So you had just your people to choose from. Nobody else could choose those people. But the special powers that went along with them were for the taking. So the pairing wasn't definite, if that makes sense. Because if somebody took the second row, it would shift all the powers down, but your row didn't move. So you have new power with a new person, so it's a new thing to consider. I thought that was an interesting twist as well.
I did like how that sort of randomized things as your turn came around. You didn't necessarily know what was going to be available for you to draw.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So we definitely enjoyed the game. If you think you might enjoy the game, definitely check out Small World of Warcraft.
Small World Weirder. I knew this was going to be a hard thing. I should have had you say it.
Oh, and that was it.
That was it.